the smartest person I've ever met. Never a person who doesn't read, doesn't studying mathematics and physics. Not lifelong learning 1/3.
The smartest person must study physics and mathematics, and by the way, the origins of physics and mathematics among the big shots. In fact, physics and mathematics are not separate. Mathematics is the underlying logic of physics, and the two are in a symbiotic relationship. Mathematics without physics, physics without mathematics are meaningless.
There are people who coexist in mathematics and physics. From Aristotle, Euclidean, and Archimedes, to Pascal Descartes, Galileo, and Copernicus, to Newton Leibniz, Hooke, and Halley, to Euler, Lagrangian, and Laplace, to Cossicos, Galois, and Abelian Riemann, to Mobius, Klein, Hilbert, Poincare, Einstein, and Newman. Both mathematics and physics coexist.
And what I'm going to talk about next is not pure physics and mathematics, but the big shots based on the integration of mathematics and physics. Physics business, in fact, is also a symbiotic relationship. It's worth celebrating that my first instinct in learning physics was this, and I learned it myself.
The synthesis formula of the big shots is bound to drop out of school. Munger is the one who repeatedly goes to school and struggles, inevitably accepting the direct influence of another group of top shots, Einstein, von Neumann, Franklin, inevitably studying physics and mathematics, inevitably self-study. Alright, the foundation of the big shot is here.
Synthesis formula, influenced by another group of big shots, multiple dropout self-study, physical mathematics. Charlie Munger, my favorite, also dropped out several times and didn't finish his degree. However, he advanced to the University of Michigan to study mathematics and was attracted to physics. Einstein was his guide. And then he entered California Institute of
Technology during World War II. Yes, that's the one you know. He and Jing Zhuson were alumni, studying thermodynamics and meteorology. Yes, that's one of von Neumann's main subjects. One of the founders of the complex discipline, chaotic systems, and the second law of thermodynamics, then at Harvard Law School.
I still said that sentence. You don't even know what the big shots have gone through. But he can directly accept education from Einstein, von Neumann, quantum power, and Feynman. And he was definitely the first to come into contact with the business enlightenment of complex science. So he is very skilled. This is the tip of outliers.
Then talk about Bezos. Bezos is a physics major, and his classmates are all big shots in physics. These people are all aimed at people with a Langdau rating of around 2.5, and their goal is to pursue the Nobel Prize level based on a Langdau rating of 1.5. Bezos couldn't beat it, so he divided his ability circle boundaries and switched majors. I still said, you know, how much ability you have is more important than your ability circle boundaries, and he may not necessarily become the top of physics, but physics thinking still exists.
Then let's talk about Larry Ellison, the first. Principles were not the earliest used by Elon Musk. Charlie Munger's extraordinary rationality was the earliest, followed by Larry Ellison and Bill Gates. Larry Ellison is truly self-learning, as can be seen from his dropouts, but he must have self-learning iterations, and learning efficiency is extremely high. As long as you don't have a hat in your heart, you can surpass Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Oxford, Cambridge. This is the true path, and the Stanford-Harvard level is only a qualified probability to enter this path.
Next is Elon Musk. Others are real physics experts. Just ask SpaceX and Tesla, and you will know. Do not repeat. But his most essence is, not yet, the first principle, that thing I knew 20 years ago, when we called it the first driving force. We all used vomiting. What I want to say is his statement that you can violate all artificial contents such as laws and humanities, because humans can violate them.
But you cannot violate the laws of physics, because nature cannot violate them. This sentence is equivalent to Charles Munger's bounded rationality, which is why neither I nor Munger likes the School of Economics, and it is also equivalent to the first principle,
the first driving force, and it is also equivalent to Marx's practical philosophy and seeking truth from facts following objective laws.
Let's talk about Elon Musk again, and we will explain it in detail in the fire of Silicon Valley in the future. He, like Larry Ellison, Bill Gates, Bezos, and Larry Page, were deeply influenced by the Silicon Valley fire and Bell Labs. So who is Bell Labs influenced by? Engineer culture. So who is the influence of Bell Laboratories? The group of Nobel laureates in physics, who came from Turing, Shannon, Feynman, and others. And Turing, Shannon, Feynman was influenced by von Neumann, Einstein, von Neumann, and they were influenced by Hilbert and Poincare, which is the inheritance.
And the key point to mention is Tesla, who is an engineer and creator who directly influenced Elon Musk, just like Franklin and Charlie Munger. Turing and Newton influenced Steve Jobs, the same. So the big shots are passed down from generation to generation. Silicon Valley can be seen as the emergence mechanism of a group of environmental soil cultures with a Landau score of 0.5 to 1.5, which is much more difficult than chaos. Newton, Hilbert, Poincare, Tesla, Einstein, von Neumann, Russell, Turing, Shannon, Nash, Goethe, Samuelson, Charlie Munger, Buffett, Bill Laboratories, Bill Gates. Larry Ellison, Larry Page. There's also Elon Musk, Steve Jobs.
The relationship is roughly like this. So, where is our inheritance? Where are we? Do our smartest people learn physics, mathematics, and computers? This is the 7th generation inheritance of fuck. And now it has reached the 7th generation, which is the Naruto level Elon Musk. We need to hang up. Sassy, Ultraman. Thank you, Ningren.